Alright, welcome ladies and gents. Let's talk Avatar 2, or Avatar The Way of Water. Thursday night previews as well as Friday box office. It is currently earning less than the last few Marvel movies, as well as the Batman. Now this is projected to hit around $500 to $525 million worldwide opening weekend. I don't know if it's going to do that though. It may do, but I don't know if it will. So this has opened to Thursday night previews less than the last 3-4 Marvel movies as well as the Batman. And on face value, you'd look at that and go, well, that's understandable because it's 3 hours, 10 minutes plus trailers. So it's like 3.5 hours, right? Sure. However, this is Disney's widest release. It has been released on 52,000 screens worldwide. Bigger than Endgame. This is where Disney's put all their chips into. This is quite literally the biggest, most historic, record-breaking release that Disney has ever done. Because obviously now Disney owns 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Studios, and thereby Avatar 2. So, yeah, they can't show as many screenings in a day, but they've gotten around that by showing it on the most amount of screens worldwide than they have ever done. So let's take a look at this, because this is just an article about Thursday night previews, okay? So, Deadline estimates for Thursday previews put Avatar 2 around $17 million, okay? So, now that is less than the Batman's Thursday previews of $17.6 million. And Batman, for all the Marvel lovers out there, they consider it to be a huge, huge flop. And, you know, and I guess it's kind of one of those things that you can't justify it this way, but whilst also not simultaneously accepting that, you know, if Avatar 2 is not doing the Batman numbers, then that's not particularly great either. However, you know, we know that this movie is set to bring in, or as per James Cameron himself, it needs around $2 billion to break even or start making any money. We don't know really. The numbers are kind of a bit out there. But he did say that it needed to be top 3-4 movies of all time. And this is also, just as an FYI, substantially less than Black Panther's Wakanda Forever Thursday night box office, which took in $28 million, and that hasn't even hit $1 billion yet. And loads of people obviously look at Avatar and go, well, you know, there's nothing up against it. Well, there is actually in January. In January and February, there is. And we're at the tail end of December. So there is stuff which will be released. And if this movie doesn't have legs and people are just sick of it, all in all, it will be a flop. So Thor Love and Thunder brought in $29 million. And that, I don't think that's hit $1 billion. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I think, has hit $1 billion, crossed $1 billion. And that took in $36 million. Which is, it starts to put it into perspective of how bad this actually is when you look at it like that. It's not great. But then we have Avatar 2 now, Friday box office. Not looking great. Not looking great at all. And by the way, FYI, like, I think this will cross $1 billion. I do actually think it will cross $1 billion. I don't know if it will hit that huge number, though. That $2 billion plus. Maybe. But it doesn't have the advantages of China at the moment, being China's on lockdown. And protests in not very good state of affairs. So, this article states that it is actually bombing at the box office. I don't know if that's fair to say. I think the overall weekend is what we should take a look at. But Thursday and Friday, not great. So the trades originally put Avatar 2 open to as high as $200 million domestically, right? With low estimates of $175 million. But the numbers don't look to be anywhere close. So, what are we at now? It's now estimated that Avatar 2 will be lucky to hit $150 million for the weekend, with the potential that it will be $120 million. That's really not good. Now, the Hollywood trades were offering the flick was going to open to sky-high figures. Very, very high figures. That's what they want it to do. I get that. Deadline is currently, spinning all of this. Low box office. Audiences are waiting to secure ideal seats in a premium format. This is kind of what we get from trades when a movie that they are a highly commercialized movie comes out, the trades will always do their best to mollycoddle it, I guess. So, where we're at now, Jeff Snyder saying that Cameron recently turned in a cut of Avatar 3, which is 9 hours long, and Cameron wants all the VFX done before he makes his final cut. I mean, this is why these figures are so high for these movies. So, Avatar 3, the follow-up to this, which has been filmed, they haven't filmed Avatar 4 yet. They filmed 2 movies back-to-back, 2 and 3. This, Avatar 3, 9 hours long? What are you doing? So Friday box office, $55 million. So the Friday box office, which includes the $17 million from Thursday, Avatar 2 is estimated to bring in only $55 million. That's not great. It's really not great. At all. So to put it in perspective, Spider-Man: No Way Home did $50 million just on its Thursday alone, and Avatar 2 is struggling to hit anywhere close to that. Within a total of 2 days, $2 billion. I think it will really, really, really struggle. A lot, actually. So Avatar 2, it can't compete on Friday with the 3 Marvel movies released this year. Doctor Strange, $90.7 million. Thor, $69.5 million. Black Panther, $84.2 million. The Batman. Avatar 2 is literally in line with Batman at $56.6 million. Now, I like the Batman, but loads of people keep telling me it was a bomb. That opened to $134 million domestically and had a worldwide box office total of $770.8 million. Avatar 2 is looking like it's going to be on par with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 opened with a Friday box office of $56 million and a weekend box office of 146. If Avatar 2 takes home, and today will be the real tell on that, because it's Saturday, right? Saturday is that kind of day where most, it's the daytime. People can take their kids all during the day. Because the IMAX screen near me is only showing 3 screenings of Avatar a day. Bearing in mind all the other screens are booked up with Avatar, but the IMAX is what they really want. So Saturday and Sunday are going to be the real tell-all whether this is going to be a success or not. But Guardians of the Galaxy opened with a box office of $146 million. If Avatar 2 does $150 million opening weekend, I genuinely think it would be safe to assume that Avatar 2 is going to be one of the biggest box office flops in history. In history. Now, this is getting good reviews, by the way. Got really good Rotten Tomatoes score. Critics and audiences are liking this film. But critics and audiences, well, critics anyway, didn't, but audiences seem to like Morbius over on Rotten Tomatoes. Just not many people went to watch it. And this is a similar situation. People that watch the film like it, but are people coming out to actually watch it? That's the issue. Is there enough of a draw for these giant blue Smurfs running around? Let me know what you think. Again, I'm not ragging on the film. This is just simple facts. You can't have it one way and not the other. You can't say that, Batman was a flop and then not say that Avatar 2 looking like it may be a flop. Because if it's doing the same numbers, it ain't great.